Thank you. Thanks, sir. My name is Shrestha. A warm good morning to you to all. Today I'm here to present you my thesis presentation on precision formulation of low protein diet via amylose amylopectin ratio reduction and its effect on growth, gut health, and fecal metabolites. So in commercial farming system, piglets are separated at the very early age of 28 days. So at that stage, they have to face a lot of changes and challenges, like abrupt separation from their sows and sudden shift of their diet from milk-based to solid-based. So at that moment, they don't really feed properly. So their growth gets reduced, the growth performance reduces, and also on top of that, they have immature gut health and immune system. So it is very common for them to suffer. By reducing crude protein in piglets' diet, we can decrease the fermentation of undigested protein in the gut health of the gut of the piglets, and by doing that, we can decrease the post-weaning diarrhea and ultimately improve the gut health. Besides this, they also have they have good environmental impact. One is by reducing greenhouse gas emission and also reduces the raw materials that we use for the feed, like soybean meals. And what happens if the farmers, they don't reduce the crude protein, or like they give excess crude protein? The excess nitrogen gets excreted out from their system, and then it gets deposited in the manure, which later on gets released as nitrous oxide, which is a very harmful gas for our environment. And if the manure gets in contact with water bodies, it causes eutrophication. So to properly utilize the crude protein, we need to optimize protein and energy level in the piglet's diet. This means that the peak amino acid level and the glucose needs to be synchronized in the blood at the same time. So if the amino acid it does not synchronize, the excess amino acid gets catabolized through hepatic demyelination in liver and gets excreted through urea. So this just gets wasted. To synchronize these two, glucose and amino acid, we need to have a diet that gets digested really quickly. And digestible starches are amylose and amylopectin. Here you can notice that amylopectin has more branch structure compared to the amylose. This helps amylopectin to get digested more quickly. So in our diet, we increased the amylopectin ratio and decreased amylose, or simply we can say decreased amylose and amylopectin ratio. By doing this, we can release glucose in the bloodstream faster and then cause insulin spike, which can synchronize amino acid and glucose level. The main objective of our experiment was to evaluate whether the synchronization between peak amino acid and glucose can improve the efficiency of piglets in growth, their gut health, their fecal metabolite, behavior, and environmental parameters. And note that this experiment was this is the first time this experiment was conducted in the commercial farm. In our diet, we have three different groups: controlled, low protein, and LP-LA diet. For the control diet, this was normally fed to the piglets by the company. So at the first stage, the control diet was 16.6, which later on was increased to 17.2 in phase 2. Although if you compare this percentage with other studies, this is still low. And this control measure has soybean meal, mixed wheat, and oat flakes. And for the low protein diet, LP and LP-LA diet, we used 15% of synthetic amino acid. For LP diet, we have wheat and oat flakes. And for LPLA diet, we only use waxy corn. We use waxy corn because it contains 98% of amylopectin, so it was easier for us to use for our diet to modulate amylose and amylopectin ratio. So here you can see the waxy corn is the red line, and in this incubation time, for the glucose release was very quick for this waxy corn, as it reaches to peak level faster than the other diets. So this was very compatible for our experiment, and also it is also cheaper compared to the other mixed wheat and oat flakes. This is some pictures of our experiment in the farm. We used 540 piglets, and they were divided into 3 different groups according to the feed. You can see green, red, and blue. We divided these feed into 3 different colors so that we don't mix them. So 180 piglets for each diet, and then they were divided according to their size and their sex in different pens. This is our experimental calendar. We prepared feed before we started our experiment. So at the first day, we introduced piglets in the farm and weighted them individually and checked their lesion score. And after every week, we came to monitor their behavioral observation, environmental condition, and collect their feed residue. In the end of the first phase, or the starting of phase 2, we had to calculate or monitor everything, like every parameters from growth performance. We collected fecal metabolites. We collected feces, then tail and ear lesion score, then also checked behavior, environmental condition, and feed residue in day 21. Then we repeated that again in day 43 and day 63. And similar to phase 1, we did in almost every 1 week, we came to monitor behavior, environmental condition, and feed residue. So in the result, we observed growth performance of the phase 1. There was not much difference. So between the different diets. So even though so you can see low protein diet and the high protein diet, they performed similarly. So we can say that we can reduce crude protein and we can make environment sustainable and decrease the feed cost. In phase 2, from day 21 to day 63, there was significant difference between controlled diet and the low protein diet, as controlled diet performed much better in growth performance of average body weight, average daily gain, and average feed intake. But in feed to gain ratio, LPLA diet was efficient compared to controlled diet. So this means that our diet was more efficient. And also you can see in this table from phase 1 and phase 2, the amylose and amylopectin ratio was not much different. And in phase 2, the LPLA diet's amylose and amylopectin ratio was very low. Then we collected feces and measured fecal dry matter and ammonia concentration. From that, only in day 21, the dry matter content was significant. But when we measured individually, pairwise comparison, there was no significant difference. So from this, we can say that there was no diarrhea and the piglets were healthy. And for fecal metabolite profiling, we were able to quantify 71 metabolites using NMR approach. And here in the graph, you can notice that the blue one, which is controlled diet, started to separate from these 2 diets progressively, but without reaching any significance. And here, low protein diets did not, like low protein diet showed decrease in amino acid concentration in the feces, which was expected as they have low protein and so they have less fermentation in their gut. By observing behavior, which is important for animal welfare, as we changed our diet, so only in day 21 they exhibited more tendency to explore pen compared to the control diet, but besides that there was no significant difference. Also in lesion score there was no differences, but only in day 21 low protein diet had the lowest lesion score. Then in environmental condition, again in day 21 only carbon dioxide had significant differences among other diets, but besides the rest had no significant differences. So finally what we can conclude is that in the first phase we can decrease the crude protein and still have the similar growth performance in the piglets. And in the second phase, from day 43 to day 63, we had significant, the feed to gain ratio between controlled and LP diet was similar, so which means that the diet composition was efficient. And also by analyzing the fecal dry matter, the gut health of piglets was preserved. By changing the diet, we observed animal behavior, we checked lesion score and also checked the environmental parameters. There were no differences, which is good. And finally, I can conclude that our diet, waxy corn, with lower amylose amylopectin ratio, was an effective strategy for low protein diet and was safe for piglets' health and welfare. Finally, I would like to thank my team for the support and the company Regionale in Emilia-Romagna for providing us this platform to work or perform our experiment. And thank you all for listening.
Grazie.